Hi, my name is Brooke Lippman.
My name is Dr. Deb Lippman.
And this is Wine Together,
a podcast where we drink some wine and have a chat.
So sit back, relax, and get that corkscrew ready.
Cheers.
This week, we're going to talk about conspiracy theories.
Oh, yes, we are going to talk about conspiracy theories because we have a lovely bottle of wine from our friend Laszlo. He comes from Hungary, and he was home with his mom for Christmas and holidays time, and he brought us a few bottles of wine back. And so thank you, Laszlo. We wanted to give you a big shout out for that. And you thought this was cute because of the UFO, so we thought, oh, why not conspiracy theories? So I agree. Let's drink this bottle of wine with a UFO on it and talk about conspiracy theories.
I forgot what I was going to say. There's an episode of Criminal Minds that they have to like give their profile. A bunch of people who live in Roswell, New Mexico.
Okay.
They're what they call truthers.
Okay.
And they have to give their profile to these truthers because a bunch of them were dying and they were trying to figure out who was doing it.
The truthers were dying.
Yes.
Okay.
They were being murdered.
Okay, so who had to give their profiles? The BAU people?
Yeah.
Okay. So, did the truthers not believe they were BAU?
No, they didn't trust them because they were FBI.
Okay.
So they're part of the government, and so they thought the government was killing the people.
Oh, well, maybe they were.
No, it was one of the truthers that did it.
So where do you think these things start? How do these conspiracy theories get a foothold and manifest?
North Star, which is also another Criminal Minds reference. That's from one of the new seasons.
All right, I don't know what you mean by that.
Barely, no.
Okay, so not the Illuminati.
Well, I mean, that is a conspiracy theory.
I know, but I had a student, I'm not, okay, I'm not making fun of this student, but you have to just understand when you're working with autistic students, they do come up with some of the most grand stories and things to talk about. Conversation pieces is what I'd say. They come up with these grand conversation pieces. And I had one that just was so insistent that the Illuminati was real. And, I tried to show him, facts about that this was kind of something some people had made up, but he absolutely did not want to hear it. And so I did my best to kind of straighten that out, but it just didn't work. And part of it was, the fact that he was a teenager. And so he wanted to believe, what he wanted to believe. He wanted to feel smart. He wanted to feel kind of like he could be part of a cool crowd. And so he had this belief and just could not let it go. So that was one, but I love to listen to other podcasts. So there is a podcast out there, Conspiracy Theories, and I listened to it. I used to listen to it. I was almost caught up, like waiting for new episodes to drop. And then I just I got busy with other jobs and things, and so kind of lost track of all that. But there was one that I was really interested in, and it was more than one show. I think it might have been a 2-part show, because they were talking about work that had happened at the Brookhaven Labs on Long Island. And the reason I was so interested is because your grandfather, his postdoc work was at Brookhaven Labs at that same time period. So I listened to it. I've actually listened to this particular episode twice. So I've listened to it, and from what I recall, part of the thinking behind that show, Stranger Things, is based on this conspiracy theory about what they were doing at Brookhaven Labs. And so I also just this few weeks ago, I was with your grandfather in at their house in the United States, and I said, so I listened to this podcast about conspiracy theories, and they were talking about the work that they were doing at Brookhaven Labs while you were there. And he said, "Oh yeah, all excited that there's this, somebody's talking about the work that." I said, "Yeah, something about mind reading and people time travel and all kinds of just stuff that y'all did." And he was like, "That was not what we were doing." And I said, "Well, what were y'all doing?" He said, "Well, I wasn't supposed to talk about it then. I don't think I'm supposed to talk about it now." And I thought, you were doing that. It's true. But anyway, it is a conspiracy theory, and it. But it was so funny. It's really funny when you have somebody that you can go to for the truth. And so to kind of debunk some of these conspiracy theories, but it's so funny. I mean, and we laugh about it because, one, we're really adamant about making sure we try not to repeat things that, unless we've, fact checked, right? Yeah. We're adamant about trying to be sure that we're not passing on misinformation, disinformation. But it's sad and strange that some people can believe some things, and I'm so upset because there's a show coming out. Am I allowed to say what network it's coming out on?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, okay, we don't want to get in trouble, but it's coming out on Apple TV, and I am going to refuse to watch it because they're faking the moon landing. Oh. And I'm just like, man, I want to watch it because Channing Tatum's in it. I want to see the movie, but I'm not going to watch it because I don't want to feel like I'm kind of participating in something that I just don't. I don't believe. I mean, I believe we went to the moon. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And maybe it's because my birthday's associated with it, but I believe it.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, there's evidence that we went to the moon. It would cost way more money to fake it than it would cost to go to the moon.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, Mythbusters proved it.
Oh, okay. Well,
or someone proved that it would cost more money to do all the high tech, because especially back in the 60s, all that high tech stuff to make it look real would have cost way more than it actually cost them to go to the moon.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to hold on to that. I mean, and it makes a little more sense saying, back in the 60s, this type of production would have cost more money but now, man, we could do anything in production. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing what the technology that we have now, and that's the reason I'm kind of gonna go off time.
If we got a green screen, I could make it look like we were on the moon.
Ooh, okay, well, maybe that's a future investment.
I'd have to get really good at video.
Well, you're gonna have to take some more courses on it.
Yeah, I'd have to get some software though.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I was looking at some software today, and it was $300.
But is it a forever license? Mm-hmm. But then that's not that expensive.
Yeah, because it's $4 max, so it might be worth it. But
yeah. I mean, that's something to think about. I'll definitely kind of think about that because I don't know. I don't want to call people unintelligent. Yeah. Because, I grew up with somebody who called me stupid every day. Every day I was called that word. And so I'm not going to do that. Mm-hmm. That was always my S word in the house. Y'all were never allowed to say that word. And so, And I stand by that. I don't want anybody saying that word in my presence. Do not call my children that. Do not call your siblings that. Don't call anybody that.
Yeah.
It's hurtful. But anyway, but to see so many people believe in things that aren't true, that, we call a conspiracy,
There's a difference between conspiracy and conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories logically cannot be proved because of the way people put them together. Conspiracies are completely different.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. You're right. You're right.
Feasibly have
this
happen.
wine tastes like grapes and pears. No, it's grapes
and pears. It's a conspiracy.
Lazo, I want to thank you again. This is really good wine. Wow. Yeah. What is this? It's almost like it's almost like his last name.
Big pear and big grape teamed up to create a conspiracy to make this wine.
Is quite delicious. And I love it. Okay, so there was another one that I was wanting to talk about. Okay, we were coming home earlier from a little town we live close to. What was I talking about? And I said, oh, I got to talk about...
You were talking about the Brookhaven Labs. You already
Yeah, no. There was something else. And I said, oh, no, let me save that for when we get there. But then kind of, I had to go back out. And so anyway, I've just kind of forgotten what it was. But hopefully before we finish, it'll come back to me because it was kind of funny. Or at least I thought it was going to be funny. And I thought, oh, God, you're going to get mad at me for bringing it up. But okay. So I don't know what it was. Well, let's see. What were we doing? I'm pretty sure we were on the bus when I thought of it. So, but anyway, I mean, okay, other than the ones you've seen on shows, what are some conspiracy theories you've heard people say out loud and you just kind of rolled your eyes?
Well, anytime someone mentions that the world is flat.
Oh, yeah, that one. That one.
There's a basketball player that thinks the world is flat. I don't know who it is.
I recall seeing this the other day. We were together. We were watching something and they were talking about this, and I thought, that can't be true. He surely doesn't. But yeah, this is somebody who plays in the NBA. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. No, I'm not. I said I wasn't going to laugh at people because this show's kind of tough because
they're so ridiculous.
Some of these theories are ridiculous and we know it's not true. But I think some people are so angry at the status quo, maybe, that they just have to feel like they're part of something more grand. And this can be more grand.
I don't know,
These
but
conspiracy theories
if you think it, because you can get really down the rabbit hole if you think about it.
Yes.
If we've never been to the moon,
right,
we've never been to space, so therefore those pictures showing that the Earth is a globe are fake. So therefore the Earth might not be round. And if you they have all this logic that it makes it clearly the Earth is flat.
I can see that, but I have climbed. We have climbed so high on mountains and it was such a clear day that we could look out and we actually could see a curvature of the surrounding of the land way out in the distance, and I get it when you're at the beach and you're at that low level, the horizon's flat. I get it, but okay, and so I get why people are at the beach and they look out at the horizon, it looks completely flat, but you have to think about where you're at when you're looking across there. You're at sea level. You're not able to see things like how you see things from higher up. And so I suggest if you love the beach, also love the mountains, go climb a mountain on a clear day and look out, and you can see that things are. I mean, we're not going to get high enough, kind of on our feet to see the full curve, but you can see a little bit, or at least I can. So I just find it odd. Plus, I grew up, loving science. So, I think that and I did. I believed my teachers. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But I never thought that any of my teachers were out to get me and make me a stupid person. So, I said the word. I won't let her say it, but I said it. That's so bad. But I trusted my teachers to teach me, not to fill me with stuff that's just not true. What about you? Do you trust your teachers?
Some of them, but I had a teacher who didn't believe that dinosaurs were real, and anything he said after that, I just did not care about.
Did he move to Africa to teach?
I don't know.
But do you know who I'm talking about?
As long as you know who I'm talking about.
I'm trying to think, and that's right. I'm trying to see if we.
That English teacher that I had that replaced.
Oh no. Okay, okay. You know what? He didn't stay in the school. They kept him.
They moved him to speech. Because he was an English teacher, and they moved him to speech because we all complained about him as an English teacher.
But he didn't even finish out the year in that. I don't even know that he made it to the. Was that a first semester or second semester class? Because he didn't make it to the end of whatever semester that was. I do know he was gone. He was gone. Not too long. And I'm surprised because the administration of that school was very right wing. Oh, okay.
The train went by and you could hear it through the microphone.
So I'm surprised because it was a conservative voting district. It was a very conservative administration. So I'm surprised that he was gone, but he was too far out there for even them. Mm-hmm. So that says a lot for him.
Yeah, when your sophomores are not listening to you anymore because everything that comes out of your mouth is just not at all correct, that's a problem.
Yeah, and this particular class, there were a few of you in there who were just the top of your class.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was an honors class.
There were just some phenomenal students in there. Mm-hmm. And so...
We were bored.
I remember having to drop by a few times. I had to go in there.
He gave us spelling tests where we had to memorize the exact order of the lists and the exact words and the exact definitions from whatever book he had us get it out of.
Okay, now hold on.
That's
I believe in spelling tests, but I believe in spelling tests.
Yeah, okay.
I believe I believe in putting an ABC order. But what I did for mine, look, I had students just last semester that some were 10th grade, and I say that because of the system in the United States of just advancing students because of their age, not because of what they know. But they didn't know how to use a dictionary before I came there. And so I did make them put things in alphabetical order. I did make them look through a dictionary and find words using the guide words, teaching them how to use a dictionary.
Yeah, but that's not my point. My point was he made us remember if we got one word off of the definition wrong, exactly how it was.
But that's not. I'm not going to say the S word.
And if I think there were example sentences and we had to remember the exact example sentences and you had to be exact.
You know where he got that list from?
Where?
There's a site called 1000 Most Common SAT Words, and it gives you the words in alphabetical order, 1,000 words in alphabetical order. Yeah. It gives you a definition, not necessarily all the definitions. It gives you one definition with one part of speech, and it gives you a sample sentence. So I know a lot of teachers use that resource. Yeah, but you don't make students. You're supposed to make students write their own sentence.
Exactly.
Because how else are they going to know to write a better sentence? How are they going to start their novel when they retire if they don't know how to write their own sentences?
Memorizing is not necessarily learning.
No, I don't think memorizing is learning. Unfortunately for math facts, I think that we went so far away from that. That pedagogy of memorization, because there is a place for memorization in pedagogy, and we went too far off of it in mathematics that kids now rely on a calculator to do 2 times 4. Yeah. And so we got to get back to the pedagogy of memorizing math facts. I'm sorry, that's just how I believe. As a mathematics and science person, and I'm a math person, so
you should know your times table because anything past 12 you can do easily.
Mm-hmm. Anything past 9 you can do easily, which is the whole point of it. The whole point of, I agree. I like learning to the 12s, but the most important thing is learning to the 9s.
Yeah.
Once you know 9 times 9, and everything else you got it.
Yeah, as long as you know the order to do the multiplication.
Mm-hmm. And I do think, I definitely think. Order of operations is people don't know that, and I just I was shocked at what I saw this year. Shocked.
What do you think? Are dinosaurs real?
I do believe that the dinosaurs were real. Absolutely, I do. And look, a couple of y'all were dinosaur crazy.
I know. So
And we loved it. So, because, your dad's a lot smarter than me. I get that. But he also, he's a scientist as well. But I'm telling you, when y'all were little, everything was a science project. We made everything a science project. We didn't care that there were dirt and worms in the house. We never cared about stuff like that.
And we couldn't get kinetic sand. That was too messy.
You know what? After the little spinny thing with the paint on my dining room walls.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Okay.
The
The
tie-dye thing?
It wasn't a tie-dye thing. It was a spinny thing that you made pictures with paint. And it would spin around and the paint would fly.
I did not
know what you're
talking about.
It was the year that you and Ren were both at Destiny Dance. And there was a Christmas thing, and somebody gave Ren for Christmas this gift that it's like a fair toy, like you get at the county fair, and you spin the thing, you put the paper in, the paper spins, and while the paper's spinning, you squirt paint in it, and it makes these beautiful, cool pictures. Well, guess what happens? When paint spins, my dining room becomes spattered with paint that I didn't plan on in the design. That was not part of my design. So, yes, I was upset.
That was definitely given to Rin by someone that did not like you.
That was the first thing I thought
things.
when I got home, and it was so funny because I had specifically said, this does not get played with inside the house. I told your dad, I told your brother, this is not to be played with inside the house. We would do this design, this thing outside on the back deck. That was always the plan.
Yeah.
I go to work one day and come back to paint on the, and of course your dad is, every time he says, he tries to find the silver lining and stuff. Grandma's like that too.
Yeah.
His mother's that way. They always try to find the silver lining, but doesn't it look good? I'm like, no. If I wanted the walls painted that way, we'd have painted them that. No. This is a formal dining room. I don't want blue spots on the wall. Well, we'll try to get it. We'll try to paint over it. Do you know, when we sold that house, 10 years after that or whatever, those spots were still on the wall in the dining room. No one ever painted my dining room again, like I was promised. Whatever. But anyway, I guess I appreciate that he always tries to calm me when things like that happen. But it's just, and I do need to be in a place where crap like that doesn't matter. Because honestly, the big picture is, okay, kids, listen, I just need you to stay alive. I don't care what you pierce on your body. I will love anyone that you love as long as they are not mean to you and abusive to you. However, it is more important to me that you stay alive. So, I'm going to let go of all this needing to be perfect. No, that was not my goal for 2025. But you know what? We'll work on that. We'll make it part of it. That's, going back to conspiracy theories, I think, look, my family is not immune to this. My family is not immune to believing this stuff. My immediate family. Some of your siblings will believe so. And, I think that it was really hard. I think the hardest part for me as the mother of adults is I still can't come to the, like when I'm having a conversation with somebody, I still can't come to the point of saying, you know what, they're no good for you. They're abusive, blah, 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 and they're feeding you full of crap. You're believing everything they believe, and what they believe is not smart. I can't say that to you.
Okay.
And I want to be able to say that because I really feel like the truth is more important than anything else. But, also you being alive and being a part of my life is more important too. So I'm not gonna tell you something. But I do love it when y'all don't have to go through too much pain to come to a realization point. I'm so thankful that, that y'all haven't got married into a poor relationship. I mean, I want y'all, if that's what you want, I want y'all to be happy. I want you to, be with somebody, you care about and have a good relationship. But I absolutely, it's hard for me to hold back on the abusive parts.
Well, I know a lot of people who, they believe in conspiracy theories because they only get their news from TikTok.
Oh,
They don't research anything. They hear it on TikTok, so it's true.
But we can't blame just TikTok. It's all social media. So let's just say social media.
Well, no, but it was specifically TikTok.
Okay, well,
I'm talking about. In this situation, I'm talking about specifically TikTok.
Of a sibling.
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about people I know from college. I knew one kid in college, and I talked about this with Rin a couple weeks ago, I knew a kid that didn't believe that giraffes are real.
They didn't believe what?
They didn't believe that giraffes were real.
There was, there have been some, funny things that have happened the past, I would say within the last 5-6 years. People, starting things just to see how gullible a certain sect of society is. And one was the young man who started the hashtag birds aren't real.
What?
They started all kinds of rumors that birds weren't really real. They were just, beacons to be able to listen in on your conversations. And that, it wasn't just a spy technique that the U.S. had perfected, but, all over the world, birds aren't real. And there were people who fell for it and believed it. And, really fell into that conspiracy theory that birds aren't real. And your dad and I have had a good laugh about that. Sorry. Yes, I know. I said we wouldn't laugh at people. But yeah, we've laughed behind your backs. You don't have to know about it. But it's just, again, it's a sad situation that some people fall for it.
Yeah.
And it's a sad situation that funding for education is so poor that kids are being educated in that manner. Like you were saying, you had a teacher.
Yeah.
That was, had a teacher has a big platform.
Yeah.
And, to say things that just are not true to young people and to kind of make their grades dependent on them kind of following through with writing this down on a test is that's wrong. That's just wrong. So I think we need to, I think that we really need to think about how we educate people. I think, there are so many things that, countries could do for, young mothers and, to make sure that they can be the best teacher. Because, you're the first teacher. The people that kind of are the guardians of, young brains, you're the first teacher that, these kids, have. And so I think it's important that, you do it with love and kindness and truth. Truth being very, very important. Very, very important. Because some of the things I'm seeing from other places, it's just, I'm flabbergasted. Some of the words just, I know I shouldn't say. Not even after having an old glass of wine, I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
But anyway, you tell me what you think. Do you think it's education?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me.
Do I?
Tell me how
You didn't
how
finish
education.
your question.
Well, tell me what you think the role that education plays in preventing stuff like this.
Well, I mean, I think if you have, the better. That sounded really nice, actually.
Okay.
The better educated you are, theoretically, like, the less you believe in these kinds of things, and the more you go after, like, the research to find out the truth for something.
I can remember. I remember when you were probably 8th grade. So Ren was, what's that, freshman in high school?
10th.
Ren was 10th grade when you were
Wait,
in
no,
8th
Ren
grade?
was 1 grade ahead of me.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so when Ren was freshman in high school, I was working in the library of the high school where Ren was at during a certain English class. And they were supposed to be working on paper. They were allowed to choose their own subject. And so, and they were to kind of research it, and, the teacher was adamant about reliable sources. And this one student just refused to go that route. He wanted to prove something that was already wrong. I mean, everything that he was saying about it, his kind of statement was wrong. And so I pointed it out. I said, but are you sure that the statement that you're saying is correct? Because you have to have a correct statement in order to be able to prove this. I said, because yes, you can find resources that will tell you what you want to know. That, trust me, it's out there. Anything you want to believe, you can believe, because you're going to find someone else who's willing to support that theory. And so that's what this student was wanting to do. And so all I said to the teacher was, look, I tried to say reliable resources, and this was not received well from me. I said, so I'm going to leave it up to you to tell him these are not reliable resources. So.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap this up early because I'm really scared it's going to run out of storage again. So.
Yeah. Okay. So we know it was a long conversation, but we hope you enjoyed the conversation.
We'll be back next week with a new bottle of wine and a new topic. If you want to join the conversation, follow us on Instagram and TikTok @WineTogetherPod. And if you don't want to miss out on our regular weekly episodes, along with all our bonus content, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts, as well as subscribing, liking, and commenting on our YouTube, Wine Together Podcast.